What's up, guys? Brock Page here, random sports picks for fun. Indy's at Houston for a 1 o'clock kickoff at NRG. Houston opened up the betting as the 11-point favorites and the total at an even 48. And since the betting opened up, no real surprises when it comes to the movement on the spread. Most of that early action has come pouring in on the Texans to get the job done. Houston's now laying 12.5 against the number. I was a little surprised at the movement on the total. I know these teams have had some scorchers, but could this madness possibly continue? Well, apparently the public thinks so. The total's now moved upward to a cool 50.5 points. And at the moment, Houston's the 9-1 favorites to win this one outright. If you're Houston better in this one, you're certainly in good company. They're being backed by the public money, and I'm predicting that the spread will only get larger. I think we'll see ourselves a closing number of at least 13.5 by kickoff. But despite the fact they're laying double digits, you might not have to be overly concerned about them covering that massive spread. Houston's been excellent against the number all year round. The Texans against the spread are a solid 5-2 overall. They've also done a fine job covering against these piss-poor teams, going 2-0 covering against teams winning less than 40% of their games. Most recently, Houston successfully covered 3 of their last 4 and have garnered themselves marquee covers over the likes of Seattle and New England. They've got themselves an Indy team who's covered just 1 of 4 on the road and just 3 of 7 as the dog. In addition to covering just 1 of 4 as the official road underdog, Indy's lost their last 3 games outright, failing to cover in 2 of those 3. All said and done, the case for Houston bettors can certainly be made in this one. Now, scoring-wise, lots of points scored in these Houston games. Texas matchups are 4-0 to the overs in their last 4. Having said that, though, Houston held their opponents to just 15 points per game in 2 of those 4 aforementioned contests, meaning they are capable of stopping the other team and keeping the point total low. Indy's also gone 1-1 to the unders in their last 2. They were blanked in that under, absolute shutout. So I do think this total of 50.5 is a little ambitious. I can certainly see where the public's heads are at moving the line that high. I'm just not sure if I can buy it. Having said all that, though, I'm not overly excited about a play on sides here, although I think Houston can get it done. All told, though, I am going to make a play on the total. Give me the under 50.5 in this matchup. Next game, Cincinnati at Jacksonville. Jacksonville opened up the betting as the 2-point favorites with the total at 39.5. Since the betting opened up, no surprises here. Jacksonville ate up most of that early action. Currently, the Jags are minus 4.5 against the spread, with the total moving slightly downward to an even 39 points. And at the moment, Jacksonville's 220 to win this one outright. If you're betting sides in this one and you're leaning toward the Jags, I've got some discouraging news for you. This Jacksonville team has gone 0-2 covering at Everbank Field and covered just 1 of 3 as the favorite. More recently, this Jacksonville team has failed to cover 2 of their previous 3 before last week's action at Indy. The Jags have themselves a Cincy opponent who's been fairly good against the number on the road. Against the spread, the Bengals have gone 2-1 when traveling and 1-1 as the official road underdog. The Bengals have also been fairly good against the number most recently. The Cincinnati squad has successfully covered the spread in 3 of their previous 4 before last week's action. All that in mind, the case for the unpopular Cincy vote can certainly be made. Now, scoring-wise, we've actually seen quite a few overs in these Jacksonville contests. 2 out of the Jags' last 3 games have gone over the line. The Jags also averaged 26 points of scoring per contest in 3 of their previous 4. Meanwhile, similar story on the other side, as Cincy games went 2-0 to the overs in their previous 2 contests themselves. The Bengals gave up 26 points per contest in those 2 games on average. They also averaged 25 points of scoring on offense in 3 of their previous 4. When it's all said and done, I think we'll see the line movement in favor of the under. So if you're an over bettor in this one, I don't really think you need to hightail it down to the South Point to get that pick in. You might be able to catch an extra half point at some time during the week. That said, the time for talk is over. When it comes to the spread, I like the Bengals in this spot here. I'm going to buy the hook and take them +5. When it comes to the straight-up winner, the Jags are better. I'll lay the expensive price of $220 and take them to win it outright. And when it comes to the total, I like some offense in this one. All told, I'm taking the Bengals +5, Jags to win it outright, and the over 39 in this one. All right, next and final game for the show, LA Rams at the New York Giants. Time to see how mature this LA team is. Tough to get yourself up for a cross-country game with a 1-win team. We'll see how the young fellow prepares for a cupcake. So, yeah, when it comes to the number, the LA Rams open up the betting as the 3.5-point favorites, and the total at 43.5. Since the betting opened up, we see a lot of that early line movement on the total more than anything. LA remains 3.5, but the total moved downward to a cool 42. And at the moment, the Rams are $1.80 to win this one outright for some moneyline cash. Now, if you're betting sides and you're leaning toward the Rams, you're certainly justified according to the trends. I have no idea where the spread's going to move right now, but if you see LA taking all the money, you still might not have much to worry about. These guys have been pretty good against the number in several categories. The Rams against the spread are 4-3 overall, 3-1 when traveling, and 2-0 after more than 8 days off. Remember, this Rams team is coming off a bye week, so they should be well rested and prepared. Most recently, LA successfully covered the spread in 3 of their last 4, with covers over the Cards, Jags, and Cowboys. This Los Angeles team has got themselves a Giants opponent who's just been bad at, well, just about everything. Can't win it outright, can't cover either. The G-Men have covered just 3 of 7 overall, 0-3 at MetLife, and 0-1 as the official home underdog. They've also struggled to win and cover over good ball clubs, covering just 1 of 3 against teams over 500. They've also failed to cover 2 of their last 3 and lost 3 of their last 4 outright. All said and done, the case for Rams can certainly be made. Now, total-wise, we have not seen a lot of points scored in these Giant matchups. New York games have gone 0-2 to the overs in their last 2. We've seen just 32 total combined points scored on average in those 2 unders. Meanwhile, on the other side, similar story with these Rams games. 2 out of the Rams' last 3 have gone under the line. The Rams gave up just 11 points per game on average in those contests. All that in mind, I think I'll have to agree with the betting public when it comes to the scoring in this one. All told, the time for talk is over. Let's go ahead and make a play on the spread and the total. I'm going to buy the hook and take the LA Rams -3 with the under 42 in this one. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me for my 1 o'clock slate of NFL matchups. But before I get out of here, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. And if for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. Now, we've had time to get a little bit serious. I know I try to stay lighthearted and stay out of current events other than sports. Obviously, within the past couple months, we've had that tragedy out there in Vegas. I'm not a Vegas guy, as you can tell. I don't live in Las Vegas, but that was certainly a terrible tragedy. And obviously, yesterday we had a pretty bad situation in New York City. So I don't want to get involved in current events often, but what I do want to do is just kind of leave the screen blank, have a moment of silence for the affected victims and their families. So kind of going off the script, off the cuff. So I'm just going to leave the screen blank here, just out of memory for those folks. But anyway, for Brock Page Productions, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.